Well, a viewer wanted to see all my Tanto knives, so I figured, hey, that sounds like a pretty interesting video. So here they are. Quite a bit, so let's actually make some room and talk about each of these individually. Alright, so the first two here are fixed blades. This is a cold steel Kobun. First knife I actually ever bought. Fixed blade, can't remember the steel, I believe it's an AUS 8. 5-inch blade. Kraton, or is it Kraton, or can't remember the exact handle. Nice size knife, this will make a good backup if you were looking for a defensive blade. It really doesn't have any EDC purposes behind it. It's more of a self-defense slash tactical, that's why I don't really carry it. Next one is a big knife, probably the biggest one I own, and that is the cold steel GI Tanto. Another Tanto knife, huge knife, and that blade stock. That is super thick. And it weighs a lot. I've seen people throw these before, and this would make a formidable throwing knife, but then you lose your knife, so I'm not a big advantageous. I'm not advantageous on throwing your knives. I say keep them. Keep them in your hand. So the next three we have start from right to left. This is the Microtech Ultratech Tactical Tanto. Blacked out hardware. The blade steel is this M39 Bowler steel, I believe. Yeah, M390. M390 Bowler steel, two-tone blade. This thing is awesome. Super action on it. Right, my favorite OTF that I actually own. Moving on, one of my favorite folding knives I actually own is the Benchmade, or actually the H&K Axis. Discontinued, to the best of my knowledge. Manufactured by Benchmade for H&K. D2 blade steel, super smooth action. I love the Axis lock. The Axis lock is, ew, dang, bumping the camera. Axis lock is my favorite locking mechanism. One of my favorite locking mechanisms, right next to a back lock. Huge, heavy-duty knife. If I needed something to basically stake my life on, this would be it. Never had a failure with it. Carried it for the longest time at work. Next knife is actually not a Tanto, but it's a Wharncliffe, and that is the Hinderer XM18 3.5-inch. And I'm putting Wharncliffes in here because they might as well be Tantos in my opinion. They're just as cool. G10 scale, titanium handle slab on that side, stone washed. Bought back when they were at the $700 price point. Cringe. Now they're down to $400, which is actually a really... Ah, dang it, bumping the camera again. Which is actually a really good price. Really good price for these guys. Moving on to the next set. And the camera probably moved because I bumped it like 50 million times. First one here is another Microtech, a Microtech Vector. A hybrid, I'd say Wharncliffe-ish Tanto. Strange design on that blade. This is the, if we can get it to focus, serial number 666. It might not focus for us here. There we go. To the left side of that logo, 666. Is that 154 cm? I can't remember the exact steel. And it's made in 1999. Awesome little knife. Don't carry it because this is probably my favorite knife that I actually own. Wicked looking design. Anodized green back spacers. Aluminum handle. And an awesome sound when it comes out. One of the best sounding knives in my collection. Moving on, the Strider SNG. This Strider discontinued, I believe. Strider's kind of gone the way to the dodo. Bead blasted, ghost striped Tanto blade. G10 handle. Thick G10 backspacer milled into the handle scale, which is just awesome. Flame anodized titanium. The lock bar stabilizer. That blade, that is a beefy blade. The blade stock on this is thick. This is a thick knife. One of my most fidgeted with knives, until I learned that they were actually discontinued. And then I kind of stopped playing around with it and carrying it just because of the rarity of it. I wanted to buy another one, and then when I found out that they were discontinued, I was massively disappointed. Really popular Tanto here is the Emerson CQC7. With the Wave, the Emerson Wave feature. 154 cm blade, chisel ground. See the side is just plain flat. G10 handle scales. Titanium liners, I believe they have in here. I believe they're titanium. This knife, I actually, well, I won't tell the whole story now, but I actually cut myself pretty bad on it. Carrying it in a stupid, idiotic way. Really fast to deploy if you use the Wave feature. And a thumb disc works fine for actuating, you know, for popping open like this. Awesome knife, and I like how they use standard hardware, like you have flatheads and Phillips. Awesome, awesome tactical knife. You can't beat a black Tanto. This next one deserves a place all its own, and that is the Cold Steel Voyager XL. And I'm going to try and do this without destroying something. This is a massive knife. 5-inch blade, made out of, I believe it's AUS-8. No, CTS BD1. I haven't kept with the Cold Steel, if that makes sense. Zytel handles, really grippy, huge knife. I mean, this thing is just pure, like, it's just pure insanity. Got the tri-lock. Ooh, almost closed on my fingers there. That would have been awesome. This thing is just a beast. It's not even the biggest that they make. They still have the Cold Steel Espada, which is even bigger than this. But I mean, this is insanity. I mean, this knife is way too big to carry and use on a daily basis. You'd have to be like in the middle of Afghanistan to justify carrying this thing, but still awesome all the same. Then we have a pair of CRKTs. This is a CRKT Heiho. Heiho. You can get a good shot at the handle. Japanese lettering means something, don't have a clue. I believe that's a G10 handle? Can't remember exactly. Nice handle, kind of a dressier knife, spring assisted. Kind of a modified Tanto there, a little more belly on it than you normally see. Has the locks system where you pop that switch forward, and then the lock you cannot disengage the lock until you move that back. Oops, there we go. And then you can close it. So has our assisted, which works really well. It's one of the strongest assisted knives I actually own. Comes out with authority. A little bit small for my hands though. Deep carry pocket clip. Just an awesome all-around knife that's great if you were wearing a suit. This I believe would fit well with a suit. And then moving on to the other CRKT, the CRKT M16 10KZ. Not assisted, but a flipper. Really fast. This actually has the auto-lock system, where it's spring-loaded, so it auto-engages when you open up the knife. Makes it really secure. I'm a huge fan of auto-locks. Thumb studs really don't work on this, so it's a flipper, primarily. Half serrated, not too big a fan of the serrations, but a cheaper knife. Tip down carry only, not a big fan of that, but because the D10 is so strong in this, I can forgive it, because it has a super strong D10. But an awesome little knife. Like I said, can't beat black Tantos. There's just something about them that just is awesome. Alright, moving on to the last three, we have another Cold Steel. This is the Cold Steel Pro Lite. I believe the Pro Lites are or have been discontinued. But this is the Tanto version, just plain stonewash. Cold Steel stonewashing is really good in my opinion. If my camera would focus on it. Gives it a nice texture. Kraton or Zytel handles, whatever they use for it. Triad lock. Really strong locking mechanism. A little hard to flip open, but you kind of get the hang of it after a while. Just make a nice little beater knife. They were only like about, I think, 20-ish when they originally came out. Decent pocket clip. You know, not too deep carry, but it does the job. A little hard to close one-handed because of the triad lock. You really can't shake it down, but all in all, for what you're paying, this is a decent little knife. Can't remember the exact steel, and it probably, let's see, German 1416. Cold steel, like I said, I kind of lost track of. One knife that I saw in the front of not a Cold Steel catalog, a knife catalog that I just fell in love with was the, the Hogue EX-01. Button lock, 154 cm, if I remember correctly. It doesn't mark down the blade. Made by Alan Lischwitz, or designed by Alan Lischwitz. Button lock, really fast, heavy duty, aluminum handle so it keeps the weight down, but big, heavy blade. I just love that blade shape. You get the extra little swedge on the top. Just gives it an extra little cool factor. OD green handle, or kind of an olive drab. Lock, so can't disengage the button lock, and I believe, no, it won't lock it. It won't lock it open, but it will auto engage all the time. So it essentially turns into a fixed blade. Stupid pocket clip though, it looks like a spoon. But other than that, the knife's awesome. You can take and grind that down. Only right hand tip up carry, which I'm fine with. And to finish it off, a knife that is not an actual Tanto, Warncliffe, but I just had to include it because, you know, a little bit of eye candy, is the Phantom Steelworks Skinwalker. Just kind of a wacky little knife, but still awesome in itself. Murdered out finish, anodized aluminum handle, or not aluminum, titanium. Get your murdered out portion of the blade right there. Top swedge is textured. If we focus on it. There you go. Lock side's anodized as well. Pocket clip anodized along with the lock side, so it just all seamlessly flows, which is just an awesome touch. Bought this off a guy used. It was massively expensive, but I had to have it because it's just awesome. And it got some weird locking angle too. So yeah, that's all of my Tanto knives. If you, let's see how many we can get in frame here. If you enjoyed any of these, let me know if you want me to make a specific video on some of these. A couple I already have, like I made videos on the M16 10KZ there. But if there's any that you'd like to see a little more in depth or have me make a specific video on it, just leave a comment below. I will try and link as many as I can on Amazon that are still available. I've started becoming an Amazon associate, so we're trying to make a little money that way. So if you like any of these, take a look in the comment section, or not the comment, the description section, and if you're interested, check out the links to Amazon. Help support my channel, much appreciated. It sounds like a sales pitch, because that's what it is. I'm just kidding. But yeah, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, and we will see you in the next video. Take care.